Hello, welcome to a second look at Backpack Hero. This is not a first look because I've already covered this game on the channel. However, why am I here, you may be wondering? This game got a Steam release. When I covered this game, it was a demo only on itch.io available in the browser. This is now a game that you can give money to the developer and buy the full version. Well, early access full version, but you know what I mean. A lot has changed if you haven't played since the demo, and I'm gonna go through this video as if you've never seen this game before or you're seeing it for the first time on Steam. It's entered early access last month, middle of August. I didn't cover it then because I was very busy during August. However, I want to cover it just in case you didn't see that this got a release, because this game's worth keeping an eye on. I think it's a lot of fun, and I want to show it to whoever I can. So, if you want to check out the game as it is now, you can grab a demo. It's on Steam and on itch. You can check out the demo there. I don't know what's in it. I haven't played it. The early access version of the game is $17 currently on Steam. And you can also pick up the soundtrack if you're so inclined for $5. Soundtrack is really good for this game, as you'll probably come to realize. So, let's get into it, shall we? Backpack Hero is a inventory management RPG, is the best way to put it, like a roguelike inventory management game. Pretty cool. Very unique concept. I've never really thought about it before. It's basically, you'll see, I guess. I was gonna go into a whole explanation, but just, you'll see. You can skip ahead if you don't want to see me go through the options menu. Not a whole lot to say here. It is expanded. There's some new stuff. You can set your frame rate or your FPS, your screen size to full screen or windowed mode. Resolution, languages, there are quite a few. I think there's like 18 or something like that. Localization team's going nuts out there. So you can take a look, make sure it's in your language if you do not speak English fluently. I will not leave this options menu without telling you, and if I could say to every developer that's ever lived, put numbers on your audio sliders, please. Like, this is just meaningless to me. I get it, it's not very fun designing options menus, I understand, but like, man, I just need numbers. I beg you. And you can also reset your save if you're so inclined in the bottom right of here. Alright, now then, what's new in the game? So I'm going to hit start custom game here. You can start a regular run, but I don't really recommend it because I think the meat of the game is in the custom runs. First of all, you'll see there are two new characters. There's Tote and Crate. These characters are significantly different than the base game character, Purse. Purse is who you played if you played the demo. You just get items, put them in your backpack. It's the basic idea. At the end of this video, I will spin up a run of Crate to show you just how different these are. This character, Crate, and this character, Tote, they feel like completely different games to me. It fully changes how the game plays. It is unbelievable. When I first played this, I went, whoa, like, this is crazy. This is so much. And I thought the more game modes was a lot. Now, the bottom stuff is just skins, by the way. If you're looking at these are just skins. So, on top of these two new characters, they added all of these new game modes. This is a lot of them. So, I'll be playing just a standard run here, or a classic Matthew run, if you will. It's a regular run, but you get a whale bonus at the start. Whale bonus, Slay the Spire, you know. But if you look ahead, there's like the 5x7 challenge. This limits the backpack to 5 tall, 7 wide. I think this was actually how it worked in the demo as well. But then there's the 5x5 challenge. There's the no experience challenge. And these kind of build on each other because there's like a ramping up hard mode into unfair. There's also, there's a puzzle mode. There are, like, there's unique runs as well, is what I want you to see. Scaling energy. Your energy starts at 1 and increases each turn. Cool. Small pause. You can only find 1 space items. Look at that. Pretty neat, huh? And you start with a bunch of 1 space items. So there's a ton of these where you get to just mess around with these different gameplay styles, and also if you want to, you can just play a hard mode to make the game more difficult. And each of the characters has these game modes as their own clears, so you can work through all of them yourself, one by one. And it has a little completion aspect there. For this run, I will be playing Classic Matthew. I think if I were to play this game for a long time, I would play this because it's fun. This is what I like. You can also set up permadeath, clear your save if you lose. Right on. I don't think I would ever do that. However, let's begin, shall we? So, right out the gate, here's what you see. Top left, you have the floor you're on and how much experience to the next level. Bottom left, you have game version and what challenge you're playing. I'm playing Classic Matthew, as you know. Top right, you can save. You can't be in a room with someone when you save, and then when you save, you can quit out to menu and start again. I think the game also auto-saves pretty frequently, but in the middle here is the main gameplay interface. We have our backpack, and we have our items. So you have items have space, like the sword costs 3 and is horizontal or vertical, because you can spin them. You can also spin everything, and yeah, this is how it works. You just fill items in and then read what they do. Green number here is energy, red number here is health. We have 3 energy per turn. The sword here, for example, does 7 on use and costs 1. The shield does 7 block and costs 1. And then the meal is a consumable type, which gives you 2 energy and only has 2 uses and then is used up. There's also other types like accessories, there's other weapons, there's magic, there's a whole lot of things to learn. We'll see what we see here. I'm not going to try to explain it all. I tried to record this video before and I was just unhappy with how it turned out because I was trying to explain everything in a concise manner. There's a whole lot to this game, and I already intuitively know what a lot of things do. So if I gloss over something, I apologize, but you'll get the feel for it. So Matthew here gives us a random starting setup. I think maybe he gives you the same thing every time. I've done Become an Archer a few times, I know. Let's start with a rare item. Oh, Peridot. So this is an accessory. Adjacent weapons get poison and -1 damage. I will take this, but I won't actually equip it. I'm not going to put it adjacent. So a lot of this is going to be a lot of this game is micromanaging your positioning of your weapons and optimizing. So if that doesn't sound fun to you, probably this game will not be enjoyable for you. I initially didn't think this was very fun, and then after playing it a little bit, I went, oh wait, no, this is great. So I'm going to take some damage here, and my game plan is to just tank it. Well, alternatively, I could let this guy run away. So enemies, they declare their attacks, you take your turn, and then the enemy's attacks go through. I can take 0 damage here if I kill the front enemy, because the back enemy, the brigand here, runs away if he's the only enemy alive. I have to use my meal all the way through it, but I'm assuming that I'm going to get something worthwhile here. Why did I play this like this, where I took the Peridot? Is a great question that you may be asking. Well, first of all, when you level up, you get to expand your backpack. You can do this however you want. At the bottom, we have 4 spaces. You get less as you start to level up more. I've experimented with a lot of different setups. I kind of like the staircase setup, which lets you optimize helmet usage. I'm just gonna take a little block like this, though. Alright, so one time here I will go through what everything is. I think that I want you to get an idea of what things are, but I don't want to tell you what absolutely everything is. So this is an arrow. Arrows are weapons that can be fired out of bows, and they get more damage per empty space in front of them. This is a key, it opens the door. This is a ring, it's an accessory. This is specifically a heart ring, which gives you 5 max HP. This rose gives you 1 spike per turn. These are both liquid armor, which gives you 25 block, and then this is a brick. This item is heavy, which means that if you place it somewhere, it'll fall to the bottom and knock things out of its way. And it gives you 0 block, but +1 block for every adjacent structure. So you get to build a house, basically, as a defense option. When you finish a combat, you can also only take 3 items. I'm going to take these 3 because I need the block potions. I was hoping to get a shield or a stronger weapon here. You're probably wondering why I took the Peridot, and it's because at the shop we can sell items, and items sell for more based on their rarity. An interesting situation. One other thing I want to mention, by the way. Top left here, Reorganize and Scratch have popped up in combat. If you have no other way to do damage, or if you have a build based around it, because there are items that interface with it, you can press the Scratch button to do 3 damage for 1 energy. A very bad rate, but a rate. And then Reorganize, you get to reshuffle your inventory in battle, because if I try to click and drag here, you can't move things. That costs 3 energy, and sometimes you'll get an item if you do that. That should be everything you need to know. I'm going to kill the rat wolf in the back, because I have these armor potions. The crab is going to explode. I know that. That's fine. I have 2 armor potions. I don't know if I actually have to kill it or not, but I'm going to reorganize here to grab the sapphire. The sapphire floats, which is the opposite of the brick. However, you get to do this cool thing where you can put them on top of each other and then they float up, and it's neat. I like how that works. Anyway. I don't think... Oh, he does die. Oh, and you actually get the experience too. I thought that was going to be bad because I didn't get the experience. Interesting. Okay, so I want to take an area like this, is my feeling. So the way that I'm building is because of armor. Yeah, shield, by the way, very good. And I will take the fish, which gives me some regen, and I'll take this damage knife. 3-use weapon. This is a mana stone, by the way. If you want to play magic-based builds, you create a network of conductive items, and then you can use the mana from there. Here's the shop. Is this weapon good? I don't know what this wand does. Creates ethereal energy in this column. I actually don't know what that means. When a diagonal shield is used, adds 1 block. Okay, so this is just +1 block to a shield for 20 gold. That sounds awful. I'm gonna sell the Peridot for 10. You can sell up to 3. You can't sell more than 3 to them. Chipped sword, it does... I've thought about this quite a bit, actually. Chipped sword does 8 damage for 0, but then it gets its energy cost increased by 1 for this turn. This is, first of all, strictly better than the wooden sword. So I will sell my sword and take this. That's fine. Dice is common. I think the Guardian Ring just doesn't sound very good. +1 block on my shield sounds subpar to me. Cleansing potion, acidic potion, I'm okay. So I'm going to do the first act here. This game is 3 acts, if you're wondering how it's split up now, because that is the natural next thing to think about. This is 3 acts, and at the end of the final act you get the option when you beat the last boss to enter endless mode, which lets you just keep running, starting over, similar to like a Slay the Spire endless mode where you just keep going and going until you just can't go anymore. Now, if you really like those crazy long endless runs that go mad with power over a long period of time, one of the game modes that that you could have seen there if you looked at that starting screen that I showed off of all the custom game modes is Endless Dream, which removes all of the things that go around your block. Pretty cool. Untake damage, add 2 haste to self. So this is a great time for me to tell you about my main criticism of this game. I think that this game has trouble telling you what things are. Now, what do I mean by that? If you, my dear viewer, are watching this video, you probably don't know what haste does. However, there's not an easy way from this screen for you to know what haste does. Like, from this position, there is not a fast, intuitive way to go, okay, here's what haste does. Once you know what haste does, this is not a problem, but I think the onboarding process for new players is something that you really have to streamline, and it's something that Slay the Spire does very well. I think it's part of why that game does very well. You can figure out what haste does. What you have to do is you have to right-click on the item and click View Card, and then hover over the word haste to find out that it'll add X additional block when blocking. It's a little bit clunky that it works like that, and I think that it is probably the only negative I have towards this game, like at all. However, I think that is, it's a little difficult to learn what things do, I find. And I have nothing else to say about it, actually. I yawned. It's pretty late. But I have nothing else to say about it. I just think that is something to be aware of. Now I'm going to take the guarding band not because I think it's good, but because I think it is worth money. The armor I picked up here is another type of item. Armor pieces are, they give you block as a baseline, and they usually have they give increased block on some sort of thing related to what they are. So the breastplates give bonus block to adjacent items, like adjacent armor and No, just adjacent armor is what I want to say, actually. But this one in particular gives bonus damage to adjacent weapons as well, but it trades off overall blocking power compared to some other armors. But then there's like helmets that do more, or they do less if they're not at the top, and then there are like boots that do less if they're not at the bottom in terms of block. Okay, speaking of boots. Yeah, so as you can see, for each space above this item gets +1 block, and also for boots and helmets, the items to the right are disabled. I'm gonna go ahead and toss out this knife. And we can go here, and then shield here. This shield I have gives +1 block to adjacent and diagonal armors, as you can see. And this is your optimized setup right here. This moment that you're watching right here, this is a taste of what the game is really about. It's just, okay, so this sapphire floats and gives +1 damage to my adjacent weapons, and this breastplate gives adjacent weapons +1 damage, and then it also gives armors +2 block. And then the shield also gives adjacent armors +1 block, and then the boots want to be adjacent, right? And so it goes, I need these two weapons to be adjacent to both the sapphire and the breastplate. I need the breastplate to be adjacent to the boots, and I need the shield to be adjacent to both the breastplate and the boots, or diagonal. And then you put all of those criteria down, and then you go, how do I optimize this to a point where it is as good as possible? I think that that's a lot of fun. I have had a ton of fun just kind of messing around with optimizing setups on runs. However, you know, when I started out, I was very cynical about this game, so just be aware. It grew on me. I think it'll grow on you as well. And I will take this. I'll go back to the start here. There's some stuff on the map that I didn't really talk about. I'll go over there and I'll show you what all of that is. Don't you worry. It's some pretty good stuff. Real quick too, this enemy applied a new status effect. I'm gonna try to point these out just again. It's a little clunky, but burn is what this guy does. Actually, finding status effects in combat isn't too bad. You just hover over the effect. We're applying weakness to them, which is reducing attack damage by 1 per stack, and then burn is damage at the start of your turn, blockable. I'm actually down to just go sort of off to the right here. Vampiric Axe. Pardon me. I think this weapon is awful. Deals 10 vampirism, which means you heal 10 for the damage. You heal for the damage it does. Add 3 poison to self. When an adjacent item kills a non-summon enemy, heals 8 HP. That sounds pretty good, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and swap that out with the sapphire. And you could maybe reorganize to optimize this, but I'm actually going to take the tunic. The tunic is an example of a weapon that gives, or an armor that has, it's just an example of different armor, I guess is what I want to say. So the bronze breastplate gives 2 block baseline, this gives 5, but the breastplate gives +2 block to adjacent and diagonal armor and +1 damage to adjacent weapons, whereas the tunic gives just +1 to adjacent and diagonal armor. So over time it gets worse than the breastplate, but I actually kind of want to stick it out with the breastplate now that I think about it. By the way, I think this is optimal. I think it's actually a little better to move it because I can just think about it and get kills with the sword. I think that's fine. And I may as well grab something like, is this a 2 or a 3? It's a 3. This is a rare item, so I would grab it if I could. However, crack open this treasure chest. What do you got? Knight's armor. Adjacent and diagonal shields get +2 block and +4. Oh, also, this does shields as well. Okay, I'll take the shields as well on the knight's armor. And arrow. The fish gives haste 1 time, and then the wand gives healing. All good. So we'll go back over here and I'll go through all these. There's also there's events. The forge, you can spend money to put a permanent upgrade to one of your pieces of gear. One of my other problems with this game is that sometimes one of these is +1 energy for 40 gold, and if you see that at a time where you can't take it, it feels very bad. This shows you what the boss is going to be. This is who the boss of this act will be, so you can plan accordingly when you're better. And then this is a card pick event. Weapons along a diagonal line get +3 damage. Yeah, I would like that. I want the curse. This was very silly of me. I shouldn't click one that I don't know because I could have just cursed myself. But also if you get a curse there, it's fine. Alright, I'll take the gem. I'll take the ladder. I will not take the... I'll take the ladder. The ladder is fine. Okay, so this gem gives bonus damage on a diagonal of +3. So I will put it here. I actually think I can just keep the sapphire. The ladder I don't think I have a great use for. Moves up 1 space when you use it. So this is a free item that you use, and it moves up 1 space, and when it moves, adjacent weapons get +6 damage this turn. So you just run it up the backpack and then have a big turn. But I'm okay. I don't want any of this. I do want to pop over and sell. I think I should be able to sell 1 more item. There you go. You didn't notice it, by the way, our money's here. Money gets automatically added as long as you have a stack. It gets just thrown onto the stack for you. Very convenient. We're on 2 of 3 in this area, and there is another area for Act 1 as well that I do not often go to. I don't have a reason, I just don't know the difference, to be honest. So this can do 36 easily. There you go, and we'll heal 8. The old double halberd. I played a run that was pretty fun using that plus the ladder, because the double halberd is very tall. It's a 4-space weapon, so I just comboed it with the ladder and amped it up real hard. It was fun. Bomb. Yeah, I do want you to know that this game is not like flawless, right? I've had some situations where I've been in what feels like effectively soft block scenarios where it's like, oh, I'm just stuck here forever. I can't kill the enemies, but they can't kill me. Adds 2 mana to a connected mana network, fine. You can have multiple armor pieces, like I could take another knight's armor. I don't have the room for it though, and I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna grab the dice. The dice lets you 1-time reroll a combat reward. Oh, that sword I should have talked about, the tilted sword. The sword gets +1 attack on, or +1 damage at the end of round. I actually think it's pretty bad. Also, rip bozo. 6 weak, your multi-hit is nothing. Get out of here. I'm good. I have plenty of healing with the whetstone. I'm gonna breeze through this act now. I think that it is optimal to fight every enemy normally. However, I am in the interest of my time as well as yours, I am going to breeze forward a little bit. Could have played that smarter. It's fine. Oh, not enough energy, right? The club goes up in cost. The club is 1-2, so I think damage-wise it's worse because it does 1 and then 2 for damage. Or you only get 2 hits out of it, I should say. The sword you can get 3 and burst enemies harder. Comboing the breastplate and the knight's armor. So if you want to pick this game up for yourself, the way that you have to think about it is, if I want to add this breastplate, I have to remove 4 space of items. What else could I remove that's 2 spaces? The sapphire and the dice doesn't sound terrible. So you would go like armor here, right? Because you have to go across the middle. Or we could do a bottom right, actually. Armor here, shoes here, and I just angle them. It's fine. Nah, I'm good. I'll take the meal. That's fine. I don't have a key. I'm not counting this. I'm counting this. I better. You're right. Ooh, gloves. I forgot to talk about gloves because I never see them, I feel. But they get bonus for spaces to the left or right. So this glove, if I put it in, which I think I will. Put the glove in right here, it'll get 4 block. 2 from its position, because it gets 0.5 per space to the right, and then 2 for being adjacent to the armor. Now, you can actually optimize this quite a bit. Look at that. Much better, isn't it? There's a part of me that wants to keep the sapphire and just throw out the dice, or actually just throw out the meal. That looks fine. I think that when you get the perfect setup, it is very satisfying. Maybe a member of the patrol. I'll take a weapon. Can be used 1 time each turn, deals 2 damage on kill, non-summon, adds great luck. Okay, I mean that's fine. Does 5 damage for free every round, and if I get a kill, the luck is just a rate at which you see rarer items from combat rewards. I think I might actually go fight another one. 3 slow to enemy to a weapon. Slow is minus block. Not great. 3 damage to a weapon. I don't see myself holding on to any of these. I'll take 2 block to a shield. I don't know, maybe I should stay at $40. Didn't I just say hi to you? The pickaxe. Legendary item. It's deals 1 damage each turn for each adjacent gem. This gets +1 damage this combat, so it just ramps up forever. I haven't played around it yet, but it seems very fun. Cool. We got our lucky Shiv proc. It does matter, so I should try to kill them all with lucky Shiv, but it's a lot of thought. 12 and 12, I guess it's not that much thought. You just go, oh, you don't die to lucky Shiv, but you would die to one of the other weapons. I'll wait. No, draw your last pathetic card, Yugi, and perish. My luck is about to be off the charts. I don't even need to do anything about him drawing his last pathetic card there. I actually might have. I do need to do something because I'm not actually doing. I'm just sitting here, but what am I gonna do? 24 now? I had to do it last turn, the kill, but it's fine. Level on up. I'm gonna go. I think that the boots don't actually care about verticality, so I'm gonna go 3 to the right for the glove. Weapons in this row get +1 weak this combat. I've never seen this before. I mean, it's fine, I suppose. No shop to sell everything off to. I'll go to the healer. The healer has plus max HP, which is fine. You can also have her kill all your curses if you have them stuck for whatever reason. Alright, let's go fight the boss. I'm glad I re-recorded this. This felt like a much smoother run of... Like, it's not a smoother run, but a smoother run down, I guess. I feel like this has been more coherent, but you'll never know because the secret file will say Barry. This boss summons, I believe, is his thing. Fine. You're already down half health. This game is very fast, I have found. Like, you don't have a whole lot of long-term scaling like in Monster Train. I didn't need to kill that like that. Blade Summoner is pretty good. Killing that enemy with the Shiv is meaningless because you don't get, right, you don't get luck for killing summoned enemies. That's what it is. On kill, non-summon. It says non-summon there. Now on the boss, I don't think I'm gonna worry about it, and I don't care because if he, you know what? I guess I will kill with the Shiv. Sorry, I didn't see that. My mistake. You don't get anything for killing summons, it's fine. Okay, when you fight a boss and you kill them, you get a relic. The relics often have pretty heavy drawbacks with them. Some of them don't, some of them are just fine. Like Spicy Ginger is just an upside. All weapons get this effect applied. For each adjacent diagonal consumable. +1 damage. Oh, pardon me. Shield Spirit. On use, all adjacent weapons are used, and then the weapon gets -1 damage for the combat. -2 mana cost of adjacent and diagonal wands. On use, +1 the mana cost. So the only thing I can even take here... Actually, can I reroll? I can reroll these. That's cool. Okay. All bows get an effect here. The windmill gives minus... This one's kind of interesting. You get -2 energy on turn 1, and then you get +1 energy from there on. So you're 4 energy with windmill, but you have to give up a turn. Your turn 1 is bad. I think that's fine with me. The bomb is very fun, and this is a good look at other other archetypes that they can give you, ways that you can play this game. All weapons get 500% increased bonus damage, and on use they are destroyed. Lots of ways that you can make that work for you. Alright, let's open up this. Don't care. And that's one act. If you bring a key here, you get to go to the Enchanted Swamp, which I haven't really done a whole lot of. I don't know what the difference is. Now, I'm going to wrap the video up. However, I want you to see, because now you have a good understanding of how the game plays, I want you to see how Crate plays real quick. Because Crate is like an actual mindfuck character. I refused to play this character for a little while. So, I just want you to, I want to make sure that we're clear. This character is ridiculous. It is absurd to me that they put something like this in the game in such a short amount of time. So the way that Crate works is you don't use your weapons directly. You shoot your energy out of the heart core, and it follows a path based on these pipes that you'll create towards the destination. So starting out, you get 2 swords to play with, and you get this defensive grid, which can be used 1 time each turn, and for each space a charge has traveled before using this item, it gets +1 block. So when you're done, you get to press test and you get to see it go. So for this one, what's going to happen is we start with 3 energy. It hits the wooden blade, uses it and goes down by 1, hits the other wooden blade, uses it, goes down by 1 more. So I have 1 energy left, and then it goes into the defensive grid. Now you can see that in a different way. If you press it with one of the swords horizontally, it'll go 3 here, 3 at the core, 2 after giving 1 to the blade, and then 1 after giving 1 to the blade, and then 0. You see. So we'll hop into a combat real quick. You also get this microchip once per combat. Reorganize your backpack during combat. Pretty cool. This character is absurdly weak at the start of the game, but I want you to see how it actually plays, because this is a character that is just optimizing your setup. There's an auto-run combat, auto-run combat option, which will just run combat for you. So we just go ahead and we do 21. I'm gonna get hit. Now you can end turn without actually swinging, which is a little silly. I've done it. I'm going to microchip back to this now. Oh, maybe I'd be able to one-shot an enemy or something cool, but no. If you run it yourself, the game ends their turn for you. That's what I wanted to say. Lastly, this character does not have scratch, but you do have the option to reorganize if you need to. I'm getting torn apart here. This guy's just slowly whittling me down. By the way, all of the pipes have different effects on them. Like, this is a switcher, and what it does is if you right-click it at any time, I believe, you can just flip the switch and turn the direction. Pretty cool, huh? Guess I should have killed this guy first, but I swear if you leave snails alive, they just roll you over. I don't know, I took 28. This character, you don't pick it, you actually get little additions like this. I want as far away as possible, which is actually just like this. The red square indicates that it's not going to be able to place that square there. Get items, and then the rest of it's pretty fine. The rotator redirects charge without the switcher effect of being able to change mid-combat. And shivs and things like that don't cost anything. What is this? Oh, I always do this. I always see this blue square and I go, what is that? What item is that? It's not an item. That's not an item. Anyway, just a quick peek at how I would do this. I would go something like this. Or no. There you go. Now that's good. That's an optimized defensive grid there. Now, if you were to do something like leave the microchip in the way, it would get used the first time you shoot, which is worth remembering. But gold doesn't get affected, and things like that don't get affected. But yeah, I just wanted to show this character off for you real quick. I'm not going to give you a full run, but this is like, Toad is also different. Toad has like a whole deck building mechanic in her. This character is very cool. This game is very cool. I recommend it highly. Be sure you're aware of the little quirks that I talked about. There are a few of them. However, and none of them are deal breakers for me. I think this game is still worth your time. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave me a like. Subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.